This episode brought to you by coffee. Hey, it's Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com. Today we're going to do our shaky cam interior walkthrough in a 2020 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid in the limited package. This is definitely the most premium of minivans as far as I'm concerned. Very, very well done. Drives really well, looks really good, lots of versatility, and then you have 20 odd miles of all electric range and a plug, you can plug it into the wall. Highly efficient van, rated at 82 mpg equivalent. Most of the time you're going to get somewhere around 30 miles the gallon. That should be about your average. That's without plugging in. So if you're not plugging the van in and you just drive it all the time and you don't ever charge the batteries, plugging them into the wall, you can expect a minimum of 30 miles a gallon in this. Most of the time I've been getting a lot better than that, and with plugging it in, I'm getting phenomenal numbers, because around town you just use the battery. It doesn't need the motor or the engine for much of anything. So really nicely done, wonderfully packaged too. So let's go through the interior. I'm just going to show you everything and what it does as per usual. All right, so starting over here, you can see you got some seat memories over here. Here you got the handle, manual door lock there. Down here you have the mirror adjustments, and then you can manually fold them in with that. Windows here, all of them are automatic up and down in this package. Window locks right there, door locks right here. Coming up this way, you can see we have lighting controls. Automatic is all the way to the right, and then this forces the lights on. You push this for fog lamps, marker lights, all the lights off. Over here you have dimmers. You see separate dimmers. These are for this right side. This is for the instrument cluster and the infotainment screen. This is for the ambient lighting in the vehicle. So there you go. Up here you got a vent. You can see you can turn it on and off right there, and you have a defrost vent hiding over there. So nicely done venting. I like the way it feels in this van. Down right here you have a hood latch release. You have a dead pedal, which is missing in a lot of vehicles these days. And then that's about it. Steering wheel adjustments right here. Going to the steering wheel, which is not quite straight, but close enough. Over here you have controls for the driver information screen. So you use this to control that up there. You can see a lot of useful info. I'll go through those later. Over here you have your telematics. Telematics. I really like that word, even though it doesn't actually apply to this. It's just a cool word, right? So anyway, this is how you run your telephone. Hang up there, pick up there. You can also hit this to pair a phone if you don't have a phone already paired. Voice recognition right here. You just push this and the screen prompts you. You talk to it, right? And do most of the basic stuff. It works pretty well. If you have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto installed and running, so you have your phone plugged into it, you can hold this and use that for your voice recognition instead. Also, by the way, if you have either of those or you have an Android phone, it also does voice to text. So when you receive a text message, you can listen to it, and then you can respond by just responding and talking. So you don't have to type anything in. It's not just an auto response. It's whatever you want to say. The downer is you can't send memes. Sorry. Haven't done that yet, right? They haven't figured it out. Anyway, over here you got cruise control stuff. So a couple things to note. This is common among all Chrysler products, also Dodge and Ram. That is, this cruise control button only turns on the regular cruise control. This button turns on the adaptive cruise control. So the difference is, you can see this one has a little car on it. For whatever that means, that there is a adaptive instead of regular. So that's the thing there. Otherwise, all the settings are about the same. So you set it with either of these, resume there, cancel it there, and this is your distance settings. So you shorten it, lengthen it. Pretty easy, straightforward. You just need to remember these two are separate, and you can't swap between them. You have to turn that one off to turn this one on. So you can't swap around. Now, up here, you can see we have the first of our stocks. This is for all of the windshield washer wipers. So you can see this does the rear, or this does the rear, this does the front, and then you can go to full and whatever, right? So you can do the squirters back and forth, and there you go. Over here, I really didn't do that very well, did I? But you got the gist. All right. Over here, you got signal turns and stuff. So up and down for signal turns, back and forth for the brights, and that's it. That's all that's on this one. That's it. Now, instrument cluster. So the standard Chrysler Pacifica will have a tachometer over here. This one instead has this power meter to show basically power consumption. It's not just electrical consumption, it's power consumption in general. So it's like a hybrid, it's a combination of both. So when you're slowing and braking, it will go down to the charge. That's telling you it's putting power into the batteries. When you're going up here, it's telling you it's using power. This does not necessarily just mean electrical power, like I said. So it's kind of a hybrid between the two on that part. Over here, you got fuel. So this is just the fuel in the van. It is not the fuel in the batteries. The fuel in the batteries is shown right there. So this is how much electricity, how much power you have, how much charge you have on your batteries right there. Then it shows you range estimations, right? So right now I have very little charge because I forgot to plug it in last night. And so there is almost nothing on the battery, but you can see what my trip has been. 55 miles on battery alone, 119, almost 120 miles regular, and my average MPGs, which are showing pretty low because I've been idling this morning a lot. And then you can see a lot of other stuff. Over here, you have kind of just a quick meter as to what you're doing. This just changes color to show you what's going on with how you're driving. It's kind of like your e-driving meter. Now, if I go through the driver screens, you can see several things start to change. This is not my trip. This is probably from before me, so whenever might be even the lifetime of the vehicle, maybe nobody's ever reset it. Then you can see that's what I was looking at before, and then I start going through menus. Here's some audio, messages. So here's setups for the screen, so if you want to change a few things on here. And I've been using this a lot, of course, but you don't need to, because on some of the other screens you can see that's always up there. This is kind of nice. You got a lot of vehicle infos if you want to look at them, so you can see just kind of what's going on with the van itself and your maintenance requirements if you have any. Then you have your driver assistance settings. This automatically pops up when you activate adaptive cruise control, by the way. It goes away after a few seconds, but it pops up to show you what's going on, that you have it set and what settings are on. So the driver assist settings, there are things like lane keeping and stuff like that. All of those will show in here once the cruise control is set. Right now, none of them are on because I'm not in cruise control, I'm not even in drive. And then here's battery state, if you're more interested in looking at what your battery is doing and or your hybrid driving habits, etc. So lots of little things in here to pay attention to and look at, and then back to the trip info. So I like the driver information screen because it's really big, it's really easy to see, and there's a lot of information if you really want to dig down in those menus. So there's a lot to look at in those menus. Before we move on, I'm going to drink another coffee here. Shout out to Scott over at Snowy Out Coffee. You know, not a sponsor. I just really like his coffee. He's a roaster right here in Cheyenne. SnowyOutCoffee.com. Yeah. Aviator is where it's at. All right. Now, moving along. Down here you have a push button start. That's standard across the board. As far as I know, there are 0 Chrysler Pacificas with a key in them. They're all like this now. So, good to know. More vents, and then you can see this beautiful infotainment screen showing us that Judas Priest would be playing if the radio were not muted. Muted. Almost said mooted. Wow. This is going to be a little bit of a rough morning, I can tell. All right. So, right here, you're looking at the media screen. Here's the climate. There's controls for seat heating and so on. Here's Uconnect apps. So basically, this is just everything in one screen. So you can see all the stuff. You can see there's 3 screens. So you can go through and you can just one button a lot of stuff through this. You change your audio settings, send and go for your nav, things like that. App Manager, if you want to add and subtract apps, assuming you have a phone connected. Uconnect Theater, that's to run the rear infotainment, so you can put in a DVD. There's a DVD player down below this screen, and you can control it with that so that you can run it. Hybrid Electric Info, we'll just jump to that. This is pretty cool. My kids were highly entertained watching this screen. So you can see what's going on. You can look at the driving history, schedule for charging if you are doing that. Then you can also, if you have it plugged in and you have this screen on, you can see the charge, and it will give you estimates for about how long it would take to fully charge, etc., with the current coming through the wire. Navigation here, phone here, and settings there. So pretty cool, nice screens. I really like these screens, and they work well. Now, I don't think there's anything else to show you. The market screen is nice if you have it enabled, so you can go buy things and drive through and pick them up. And travel link from SiriusXM, etc. So there you go. Nice, really pretty infotainment screen, and it works very, very well. You can see how fast it responds to things. Next year, end of this year and next year, the new Uconnect 5 will be out. Did a video on that with Kristen over at Drive Mode. So I'll link to that down below so you can see what that will look like. Beautiful, beautiful setup. Now, down here, here's your shifter. So you rotate through and you get all those. L is great for, lugging a hill. Low gear, basically, is what it is. Over here, you have volume control tuner right there. This is to activate the self-parking. So it starts looking for a parking spot when you push that. It will say right here, right? Since I'm not in drive, it doesn't know what to do. But how about I just quickly do that? So I go into drive, I push that button. Here's what comes up. It starts looking for a spot. I'm supposed to be just cruising up the road, looking for a parking space. And there you go. So that's what that is for. Wonderful little thing, nice and useful. This turns your park sensors on and off. So this turns off all the emergency blah blahs. So if you go through like a drive-through wash, definitely push that button. Here's your lane keeping assist. So you can see up there on the top left that the lane keeping assist is on. If I do that, it goes away, right? It's lane sensing, lane keeping. It beeps at you. Over here is traction control. Mutes the radio, Duke's lights, turns off the screen without shutting off the stuff. So everything is still on, right? But the screen is off. So at night, if you don't want that glare in your face, that's useful. You can also use that button to turn it back on. Park brake, push it to set it, push it to release. So when it's set, which it should be, but I turned it I shifted to drive. The light is on. And climate controls, you can see they're pretty straightforward. Not a lot to talk about with those. Pretty easy to use. Auto is right here. Turn everything off right there. Boom, easy. Down here, this is a pretty big phone holder. My phone fits in there, and I don't have a small phone. So that's pretty cool. I really like this. It's got a rubber lining on the bottom. It's nice and really deep. You can see it goes past my first knuckle, or it's deeper than my fingers. Very nicely done. My phone just sticks out. So you can still see it, but it doesn't move around. It's really nice. USB here, aux port there. Down here is the DVD player I was talking about before for the rear seat entertainment. And the eject button for it is right there. So you push that, any disc that's in there comes out. Here's nice little tray. Throw some stuff in there. Got some coin holders. It's rubber. Very, very wonderful for storing stuff. And then below that, you got this big area. You can just drop something. Purse, briefcase, small backpack. You got a 12 volt down there and another USB right there. And then you got this, which is another good spot to just drop a phone, and it will just hang right there. Nice little, kind of nice little spot, right? But you can drop a lot of things in this. It's pretty big, good size, neat placement too. It's just great. Storage in this van is awesome. Drink holders, first of them right there. Then if I move my coffee, which is not in a travel mug, but I'm not traveling, right? So I don't need that. See if I can get it to stay without tipping over. In here, you got a small storage bin. You can drop a few things. And, you know, just kind of, it's lit. This right here is a light, right? So nice little storage bin for just throwing a few things that you want to be able to close a bougie cover and hide away. Down here, you got some more drink holders. These fold out from the console. So the bottom of the console is actually this. Here's a big storage bin right there. So neat. My kid spilled some stuff. I got to clean that up. So really nice. I like that. And then I like just the feel of the interior. Nice flow of material, nice feel to it all. It's not bulky and blocky, but it's not tiny and insignificant either. It's a nice kind of middle road for that. So it just flows and feels good. I like the way the materials change. This looks like hard plastic, but it's soft, and it's pretty quiet in this van when you're driving. In fact, it's exceedingly quiet on the highway, more than I would have thought. And, you know, I've had one of these pretty much every year since they first came out, either in the hybrid form or the regular form, and they're just well-made vans. So, although, to be completely honest, I can't name a bad minivan on today's market. The minivans that are being offered right now are all really good. So, yeah, there's a Monroney cheat sheet. I'll show you that in a minute. Up here is the just looking at the seating and the feel of this. These are heated and ventilated. That is a limited model option. Then you can see the back seats. More trash. I got to clean that up too. You can see the back seats right there. So those seats slide, move around. They recline almost all the way back. And then the third row back there, one of them is set down and the other one is deployed. So right now we have seating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus the driver. You add one more, you can make it 7 with that, make it 6 plus the driver with the third row up. Lots of cargo and storage in here. Rear seat, this is tri-zone climate, so the rear climate's right there. Just a beautifully done van. Really, really pretty. So price-wise, I'll show you the sheet. Price-wise, this Pacifica Hybrid Limited model starts at just under $46,000. Then when you add on some optional stuff, this has about $1,000 for advanced safety tech. Highly recommend getting that package, by the way. That includes a lot of great stuff. You can see it here, 360 surround view, the lane departure warning plus, and also the big one is the adaptive cruise with stop and go and full speed emergency or a forward collision warning. So both of those things are wonderful, great things to have. Also throws on the Uconnect Theater was thrown on with no charge for on this one. So that's those backseat entertainment screens. They also have games and stuff for the kids to play. It's really cool. And then the tri-pane panoramic sunroof. That's almost $2,000, $1,900. That's up to you. I haven't used it at all. I'm not a big fan of panoramic sunroofs. I don't like them, and I live where if you get the wrong kind of hailstorm, you know, you got a really, really expensive replacement happening. But my wife really loves that stuff, so for her, this was awesome. She loves that. But for me, I'm not a big fan of them. So that's, again, totally up to you. Beautiful, beautiful van. You got 20 odd miles of fully electric driving. So if you drive around town, commute to work, that sort of thing, you may never use the gas engine during the week, right? But you still have the backup just in case. and wonderful. Wow, it's cool. Charging times, I probably should talk about that. So to fully charge this, if it's completely at zero like it is right now and I plug it in the wall, it's going to take about 14 hours on a 110 outlet. So a standard household 120, it's going to take about 14 hours. That will vary a lot depending on the circuit. If you have a dedicated wall charger, you can charge this in 2 or 3 hours from zero. In fact, I don't know what the charging time is. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's about 2, maybe it's 3 hours. It's pretty fast. So if you have a dedicated wall charger, there you go. If you have a charger at work, same difference. If you have public charging available somewhere, you know, you park to get coffee or whatever, you can throw a lot of juice in this in about half an hour. So there you go. But yeah, wonderful van. Again, this is the 2020 Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid in the limited package. Really well done van. I really enjoy it. So, I like minivans because I'm one of those guys. All right, that's all I got. This has been Aaron, AaronOnAutos.com. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.